What have we done? Look at all of this. It's clearly a video about gradients, but there are some bad ones in here, I acknowledge. We go a bit crazy, we create all the gradients. And the main part of this video is to show you that some things are really easy to make in terms of gradients and some things are actually impossible, which is handy to know. So let's dig in and figure out how gradients work in Canva. They're a bit weird. All right, to start off with, I just made a new page and put my logo on it for no good reason. Let's talk about gradients in their weirdness. Click on the background, okay, and I click on the color for background. And if I scroll to the bottom, nothing weird about this. Look, there's colors that are all ready to go. Okay, some pre-made colors. Let's look at adjusting one. So I've picked on this one. If you want to adjust them, you go all the way back to the top of this list. Okay, and you can click on new color and it says, there you go. If I want to adjust it to be left to right, I can drag it. Oh, can I drag it? Okay, so I've dragged it left to right. If I want it to be top to bottom, there's a button. I feel like that should toggle. It doesn't. You need to kind of go, all right, I want the purple at the top. There you go. Okay, I want it at an angle. Do you want to change the angle? You can't at the moment. you have to just live with that angle. Okay, you can see it's going from top left to top right. Okay, you want it in the middle? Easy. Want it a little bit off the side, not quite in the middle. You can't do that currently. Okay, there's this one here. It's kind of offset to the top left. You can add another color if you need a third color. And again, remember, you can readjust them to get them how you want. Now, that seems kind of normal, just a little bit limited. Okay, let's say that I've got this Fox logo though. I'm like, okay, I want this to be a gradient. I want this dark part at the top to have a gradient. And I'm gonna click on that and I go scroll down. Ugh. I've only got basic colors. So some things can have it, some things can't. It depends on how it was made. Okay, a lot of these graphics were created outside of Canva and brought in for us to use, which is awesome. But they didn't come with gradients. Some graphics do. So let's have a look at that. Let me see if I can find one. So I've gone into elements. I am going to go down to graphics and there is a section called gradient. There you go. You can just search for the word gradient or you can go to this gradient section and there's some pre-made stuff with gradients in it. Okay, so it's a little bit limiting that way, but let's say that we just want, I don't know, a circle with one in. Okay, there you go. Pre-made, already got the gradients going. Oh, that's an interesting one. I'll show you that one in a sec. Other shapes, this one here. Okay, so actually just a regular old shape. Let's have a look at more custom. Oh, look at this one. So this one has gradients already applied. Some of them have some textures as well. This one's really cool. And you can see at the top here, I can change the colors of it. Let's go through and just pick another color for it. Okay, so it's adjustable, but I can't really create my own shapes and then apply it to it. Can't apply it to text at the moment. Text has a color, but no gradient. I bet you if this was your life's ambition to have gradient on it, I bet you could do it through one of the apps. Okay, there's probably a gradient applier. I think I've used one before. The only trouble with it, it removes the editability of the text, but that's something you might like. The other thing I wanted to show you is these guys. These guys have transparency. So, you can apply it to backgrounds, fine. Not to some of the graphics. But if I grab the R tool for the rectangle tool, the rectangles you can see have the ability to apply them. And if I go back to my kind of regular old shape, so graphics, some of them. Shapes, I'm pretty sure we can do it to all of them. Let's go to this one. Okay, and let's go to you and scroll down. Okay, so we can do it to these. And remember to adjust them straight to the top, you, and then we can adjust the angle and pick the colors and switch the colors around. All this is very gradienty. Other things, actually resources. So what I do when I'm looking for gradients, there's two places I go to. One called Gradient.com, just a place to go and find interesting gradients. I know I go back to this quite a lot. And let's say we do like this particular, I'm trying to find one. We like these three. Okay, you can see there, if I click on that, okay, I can say you are going to be, so there we go. You, it's going to here. Let's go into that first color. I'm going to paste that down here, that hexadecimal number. Go back over here, copy. Okay, and you can see we can work our way through and get gradients from other places. If you're wondering how I'm flicking back between these two, I use Command Tab on my Mac. I think you can do it with, is it Control Tab on a PC to toggle between applications? There you go. So I've got my colors there. That's how I pull it from Gradient. The other one I do is, let me go grab one. All right, so I'm just scrolling through Dribble, and let's say you do like this kind of gradient here. Okay, I'm just gonna take a screenshot. Okay, I'm gonna go to Canva. I'm gonna quickly drag that out. My Mac lets me just drag it straight from this little side thing here. Not sure everyone can do that, but let's say I want this, actually grab a shape, square speech bubble. Okay, and I can down the bottom, let's apply just any old gradient, just so that we can go up the top here and say under gradients, I want eyedropper to the bottom there. And then this other color is going to be from the top part. You can see I can borrow those colors. We can't do a lot because it's kind of like applied a lot more here. And then, you know, the gradient is not linear like this one here. We are a little bit limited that way, but I want it to top to bottom. I'm gonna switch these around, and that's how I would get the gradient colors from this. The only trouble is I want a little, it'll be here soon. You know, there'll be a button where I can actually say, all right, I want it to be just like a gradient from the bottom to about here. And then I want it to be mostly that blue color. I want it kind of squished to the bottom. We don't have that control at the moment, but I think that's important for you to know anyway, because it took me a while to work out that I couldn't do exactly what I want to do with gradients. There's enough, but not everything. There was one other thing actually, is these guys. These guys are actually hollow in the middle. If I bring them to the front, I'm using Command on my Mac or Control on your PC and using the square brackets, kind of bring them to the front, I can see through them. And that is done by, it's got two colors. One of the colors here is being set to transparent. So this one here, I could do it too. So the blue at the top here, if I want to make that kind of transparent, what I do is I glow in the colors. Okay, I find it not in here. Yes, I can do it in here. Okay, click on this and I use the eyedropper tool to get this blue. Okay, and there it is there, but I can grab this slider here and that's how transparent it is. Can you see it's going transparent? Done to the bottom, but you get the idea. Now the blue color at the top is totally opaque, and the one at the bottom is, when it gets right to the bottom here, is completely transparent. And so they're getting these kind of shapes here. Same with this one. You can see through them. All right, that's gradients. I do like gradients. They're a little quirky inside of Canva, but that's okay. Now you know. All right, I will see you in the next video.